Oh. Oh. Oh, no, now there's two of them. There you go. We have one. We have one up. Oh. We had one up. Wait, no, we're still up. Are we live? Hello? Is my stream just being laggy? Hello? 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 There we go! Okay, I don't need to hear my ugly voice anymore. Cut. I need to upgrade this poor headset for next season. It's on my list. Don't worry, guys. I'm getting a new headset soon, hopefully. When I have the funds to upgrade this poor thing for next season, whenever that may fall. But hello everyone. My name is not Markiplier. My name is Cameron. Or the Davis Albus, as I am called around these parts sometimes, or Cam, or whatever the drivers decide to call me whenever they join me in the comms box. Yeah, welcome to the penultimate race. Penultimate. That's a nice word. Penultimate. Second to last, not the last, the one before the last race. So this is a big race where the crack in the door is non-existent now. The door is essentially, there is no light in the door. It is essentially closed, but there's still one more race until it is fully closed. A glimmer of light shines through the door for some of these drivers trying to fight. Roy is unmuted. How could he? There's a glimmer of hope for the drivers fighting for their spots. We have some drivers, the top two drivers of AJ, the top lot of drivers even. Let me pull up the standings. I don't think they even got released this week because I never got a ping. About no standings update, Roy. And to that I say tisk. I'm sorry, Roy. The standings are, go away YouTube Shorts. Here we are. Yeah, it's still a pretty solid fight between Lazy, AJ, Hampy. David's not here again and will fall even further back than he already is. Lazy with about a, I want to say like a 30, 11, 14-point lead. Lazy 14 points ahead of AJ, who I believe are both here this time. AJ's decided to show up today. Lazy, yes, ahead, 143. AJ 129. Hamby 127. So Hamby and AJ still have a chance to slide on up the order, but it's going to be quite hard to do so. David and Burr will be fighting for fourth. Possibly Burr could be on for a third, depending on the performances of Hamby and AJ. And I've been told, in terms of constructors, it is a definite fight between Haas and Mercedes. Williams has fallen too far back to mathematically win it, I believe, or realistically mathematically win it. So yeah, Haas 238, Mercedes 226. So only 4 plus 8, 12 points in that at the top there. And I've been told McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, and Alfa Romeo 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th respectively are all within 4 points of each other. Yes, they are. McLaren 54, Aston Martin 53, Alpine 52, and Alfa Romeo 50. So these teams down at the bottom end of the grid, well, bottom end of the standings even, not the grid, sorry. My misunderstanding there. Bottom end of the grid really could capitalise on some points finishes. So that is what we'll be keeping our eyes on today. And of course, Haas, Mercedes, Hamby, all our front runners as well, fighting for their individual fights. I've just noticed Ferrari and AlphaTauri are only 8 points apart as well, so we'll have to keep an eye on them. But other than that, it's pretty decided. Williams and Red Bull, I don't think will be moving too much. Speaking of Red Bull, we do have a reserve, I guess, joining us, as we are aware that Kevin did sadly depart from the league a couple of races before the end of the season, which we wish him all the best for that. Samu Papito. I apologize. I'll just call him Samu. Samu has come and not replaced. He's reserving for the rest of the season. He'll be reserving today and for next week in the final. And he should be on track to join for the next season, I believe, according to what Roy's told me. Although he would have to, I think, do something first. And Gunslinger is reserving an Alpine today for a missing special someone. Well, this person may not be special. Well, that sounds really mean. It's just my really bad English. Someone is missing this race for their special someone. Jens Areno is out on a date, I guess, seeing a woman. I think, if I'm right in that. Yes, he said he's going to go see a woman, and he said, does he have any word for the scream? We'll get to that in a minute. He said, do you have any words for the stream? He said, I'm sorry, I'm putting bros before hoes. I'm putting hoes before bros. There we go. I got it the right way around. Good luck. Everyone's here. Vamos Samuel. Mitch, yo. He needs to have to relieve himself. My old teammate Gunslinger is back in reserves this week. Yes, he is for Alpine. But let's get to the qualifying. Welcome to Britain, everybody. My home country, and home country to about, maybe let's say about half the grid. It's looking to, we'll keep an eye on tyres this time. But it's a very nice circuit, very historic circuit, Silverstone. I don't really have an intro prepared, but I will tell you now, this circuit has been raced for a long, long time with some very, very famous corners, which other tracks not steal, but they take influence from. Such as Maggots and Beckett's heavily inspired at Austin, where we were the previous week. That S structure there, then in Sector 1. Now it's going to be insects. It's going to be It's going to be interesting. There we go. To see what the tyre choices are. I'm seeing some full wets, so I assume the game recommends full wets. But some people going out on the full wets, some people going out on the inters. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep that up for a bit, just to see these for at least this first run of laps, because I assume by after that they will have decided which one's quicker. I would love to give you a look around the Silverstone circuit, but I feel like I would not be doing it justice if I was to. But here is Unbeaten Sign. First one out today, taking the S's at a definite reduced speed. We'll definitely have to be very careful around here today in the wet. It will be essentially not a full-out sprint, but a crawl. But for as wet tracks go, I believe even in the wet this is pretty quick track. But you still got to be very careful in some of these corners, especially these ones here. Even in the dry, these curves can prove to trip you up. But it will all be now to see. Unbeaten Sign is going to take to the line down the Hamilton straight. into the fast right-hander, lifts a little bit due to the wet weather, then followed by a left, and then immediately after coming into a right-hand turn, long right hairpin into a long left-hand hairpin, down to the first DRS straight on the circuit. I would assume that DRS is disabled. Let's take a look at that rear wing. I can't English very well today. And find out it is definitely disabled. That is good to know. Now down into sector 2, you get in to a long left, followed by a long right hairpin down to some very famous corners in recent years. Unbeaten side now down. I think this is Hanger Straight, I think, unless that's that one. I might be wrong. No, into Cobb's Corner. Still pretty fast. 7th gear, even in the wet. 8th gear in the dry. Into Maggots and Beckett's. Very, very nice flowing set of corners. There's a car in front. I might need to get a shimmy on, because you can just sort of fling yourself out of these corners. Carry through a lot of momentum. If you mess it up very one time, if you mess it up only one time, excuse me, it can really make or break a lap. Here we go, around through the long left corner. I know that has a name, but I forget it. Into that little chicane complex we saw. In left, right chicane. Watch out for the curves. Keep the car turning right. Keep the steering lock. There you go, round to the line to 139.246 in the intermediates. Are the wets going to be any quicker? Let's see what happens. Who's next across the line? It should be a Haas. I believe it'll be AJ, because that's the only Haas out round today. And Haas of AJ goes a 138.712 quicker than Hamby sign. No, sorry, Hamby. Just setting a lap there, 139.103. I think Mike Team Red here about to take to the line on the wet to 141. I do think that the Inters are faster. Cami PO3 are 142.82. I do believe that the Inters is the tyre to be on now. There's a few people still in the pits on wet tyres, and B Process probably is regretting his choices now. I believe that's just a slow car down the straight, but there may have been an accident there. A lot of drivers out on the track at the minute, so you've got to be very careful of who's on a run, who isn't on a run. Burmeister here will be interesting to see. Let me get off board now that we've gone round one lap. I'm so sorry, hyperfocus. Not doing me wonders right now. Burmeister. I do want to check in on Samu. Can't really tell how well he's doing yet, but we'll get back to Samu very shortly. Burmeister is also in the first sector, so we will wait for a lap time to manifest there. Snoopy, I think, is going round, but it's looking like a slower lap. Actually, never mind, it was competitive. There's a 139.790 for the Ferrari. They're in a fight currently with, I believe, Alpha Tauri, so these points are going to be pretty useful if he can keep driving at this standard in the dry, if it is dry. Hamby, a 138.670 on used Inters. No point pulling out the new Inters. If we're very unlucky, we'll get a wet race, and there'll be no wet tyres left if you keep going in for new sets. And as the weather sort of, I can't really tell if it's clearing or if it's worsening, but the water's being lifted up off the track, so theoretically lap time should get quicker, and those intermediates will slowly start turning into a weird form of slick compound. I like to call the slintermediates, where they're still like the tire rubber of the intermediate, but they are essentially a slick because they no longer have any grooves in them. Narnbread going out on the wets to play it safe for a banker, maybe. Or maybe just unwise decision. Comes into the pits now after setting a banker, which is always the safest bet to do. 140 even on the wets. Not the highest wet runner. That goes to Dino at the minute with a 139.830. Samu has just come across the lap for, on the intermediates, a 142.393. Let him cook. he's settling in, wet qualifying for his first session. Probably isn't doing him too hot. But here's a big hitter. Out on a lap now. Lazy but talented. He is very talented in the wet. As we saw in, I believe, Miami, which was a wet race, and he sort of took that one away with ease. And if that bodes anything well for Lazy here, I think we could see him back up on the podium after quite a while from him being there. I expect this to be a pretty quick lap, if I do say so. But let's see how he goes through Cops then. Down the straight, not Hanger straight, the other one is definitely Hanger straight. Into Cops, gear 7. No one's dead, goes gear 8 from my observation. It would be quite scary if we had a horror crash there. But I wouldn't be too surprised either. There are some yellow flags being tossed out. And it's a purple sector there. The game likes to lie to me about those purple sectors, but I'm going to trust it there. Mainly because it's lazy and it's the wet conditions. If I can put 2 and 2 together, I would imagine it's probably a purple sector now. Into the chicane. That happened a lot quicker than I thought. He just sort of teleported to the start of the chicane. Down, now, around, down, onto Hamilton, straight for the start-finish. It's a 1:38.947, not top of the timing sheets currently, but there's still time for Lazy to put out that lap time. I believe it is Mercedes below Haas at the minute, so they do need to try and get a shimmy on. Only with one Haas today. It may be helpful that there are 2 Mercedes outnumbering the 1 Haas, so they need to score pretty well combined to outscore maybe a podium finish from AJ, to have at least a chance of getting it in for next race. But to my knowledge, the championship isn't mathematically decided yet. A wedgie! Oh my god, Alfa Romeo putting in a shift in this ending couple races to the season, and you can tell. Maybe last in the constructors, but they've caught up to the bottom 3 of McLaren, Aston Martin, and Alpine very well. This only goes to show, really. Smidge for AlphaTauri sticking it up there. AlphaTauri in a fight with Ferrari. So this is really the fight for the ages happening here. Next season, I expect there to be a bit more variation with people being up there, because I think people have started getting their mojo into the second half of the season. But there we go. I knew it was coming at some point. There he goes. Lazy but talented. A 1:38.111. Oh my god, count that as a yawn. Count that as a yawn. I think we count that as a yawn. But Lazy. 1:38.111. I hope no one's angel number is 111, or actually I hope someone's angel number is 111. Because there you go. I think the stream may have crashed. Has the stream crashed? It has not crashed. We are good. My phone just did. Hamby. While I'm sorting out my phone crashing, a 1:38.076, a wedgie, a 1:38.092. Where are all these laps coming from? The track is definitely drying up, I think. Because I'm still seeing some rainfall, but I'm not seeing as much as I was. No, it's still falling. But I think the track conditions may be getting a little bit better. This could be an interesting top lot. Narmbread puts the other Mercedes up towards the top of the timing sheets. That'll be helping them, and we're into the 1:37s. I do think this track is starting to at least develop a partially dry line. I don't see one, but theoretically there should be one sort of forming. Oh, I kind of see it actually. There we go. All that slightly darker stuff there being I drew a line, not so much down the straights, but that's because everyone takes different lines down the straights. But it is looking like a very interesting qualifying, and this qualifying, I think, is actually going to be quite crucial in terms of the race result here. We've only got 4 minutes. We've seen some drivers like Alechi start near the front, put a good performance in near the front. Another one of those drivers being Mitch, qualifying well, putting in a good shift, but falling towards the end. Let's hope we don't get any of that today from anyone, because it'd be a shame. Aston Martin also in that bottom fight with McLaren, Alpine, Alfa Romeo. So you have two of the bottom 4 teams represented in their bottom fight, fighting out on the timing sheets right now. You've got 2 Mercedes, a Haas, and now make that not 3 even. Make that the Alpha Tauri Ferrari fight represented. Smidge going into P1. Hamdi, the 2 Mercedes, and AJ the Haas are here for their title fight, as well as the constructors fight. And the other Aston Martin car, it's provisionally in the points, I guess you could say. My stream keeps crashing my end, and I don't know why. I have a feeling my Wi-Fi might be dwindling. If that's the case, I'm really sorry. But this is going to get interesting. 3 minutes left of qualifying, and the weather doesn't seem to be holding back much. Swampy has either joined late, or I just haven't seen him set a lap. Gunslinger's out. I didn't even notice. Gunslinger. Oh yeah, he said he was gonna not attend qualifying, for whatever reason. Yeah, I remember now. You said he wasn't gonna attend. But he will start last. Swampy though needs to set a lap here. Purple sector 1. I don't believe that. I mean, I kind of do. Swampy put in quite the performance last time out. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden we get another blinder pulled on us. Dino, Alpha Tauri 1-2 around Silverstone in the wet. They'll be praying for a wet race, I think. Alpha Tauri putting Ferrari to shame. Where is Ferrari? The 16th and 14th. But now Alpha Tauri look forward. They can't really look forward to Red Bull. They got to overtake Ferrari, but they still got to defend from those bottom 4 still. My stream is having a freak out moment. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. But I got to keep my eyes on the prize. A lot of these drivers will be. It's quite a shocker top few on the podium right now. I would not have predicted this. I would have just went with old bread and butter. Smidge has retired. I think on track. Unless he was off track in the pit lane. Thinks he's done enough with 1 minute to go. Everyone is out on the track right now. I don't think he's done enough. I think he didn't really have a choice there in terms of where he couldn't go out again, so we just sort of had to bite the bullet here. Dino setting a lap. It's just up, but he will be going back round again, I would imagine, to see if he can manifest anything. Everyone on the new intermediates, Team Red on 4-lap old intermediates. Some people on older, lazy, a 136.273. We're in the 136s. Now with Lazy's most recent lap, we have still some time. Lazy could try for another push lap, but I doubt there's much battery left in that thing. Burr manages to get going on another valid lap. Samu is not too far behind. I see an Aston Martin there taking the line. A Ferrari steps up to the challenge of the AlphaTauris. 137.288. currently for Snoopy stepping up to the AvaTaris. What on earth is going on? 5 seconds left of qualifying. Is that second Williams gonna make it to the line? Is Hamby's not gonna make it, so this lap will be his last. It's gonna be P2 for Hamby on 136.375, and we got a little bit of a break. Next across the line, the Alfa Romeos in formation as they approach the final few corners. Team Red maybe have received a tow earlier on in the lap to try and bring him up the timing sheets. What's it going to be? It's a P16 from Team Red, but it's P3 provisional at the minute, P3 for Owechi. There was an AlphaTauri that took the line there. Dino sticks at P5. Here we go. Mercedes number 1, big hitter. Is it going to improve? No, it's just down, but it's still P1 for Lazy. There's another Ferrari approaching the line now. Manages to stick it, I don't know where, but there's a Haas of AJ putting it P4, Nambred P5, a Burmeister P4 for Red Bull. Here comes the other Ferrari. It's P7, P5 now for the Ferrari. And we still got all the lower grid to come down. First qualifying session for Samu, and he's in the grapple, which is really unfortunate. Swampy on an inbound lap. Roy P14, Cami P13, B Process P15, Team Red P16. Mitch GK on pole position. I cannot believe it. How did that happen? What a qualifying session, lads. Could not have predicted that one, even with a long shot. Could not have predicted it. One of your best qualifying sessions there, lads. Congratulations. You all had your little bit of time up at the top, I think. Most of you did. I mean, we won't talk about, like, these 5-ish. Not to say you guys didn't do good. It was an entertaining qualifying session through and through. That's what I'll say. Really good. Well done, everyone. I vote this best qualifying session of the season. I don't even think even the last race can top that. But have we got an interesting grid for you this race. Mitch GK for Aston Martin lines up on pole position, followed by Lazy but Talented in P2. Hamby follows behind P3. Owechi puts it into P4 for Alfa Romeo. Burmeister P5 for Red Bull. Snoopy P6. AJ P7. Nambred P8. Sign P9. Tino P10. Samu on his debut qualifying performance P11. Pretty good start for some first points, I think. Smidge P12. Swampy P13. Cami P14. Roy P15. B Process P16, Team Red P7 and Gunslinger will be starting from the back of the pack. Have we got some interesting race ahead of us, especially if it's wet. Cue the rainy Silverstone. Cue the rainy Silverstone. Oh, it's dry! What a shocker! That is actually a shocker. You never know if Silverstone's going to be wet or dry. It could be double dry, it could be a dry, it could be a wet dry, it could be a dry wet. Or it could just be double wet. It's really a Britain, am I right? My home country. Well, I'll be getting the lights out very shortly. Just a couple hours up the road at Silverstone. I'm very lucky to live in the motorsporting capital of arguably the world. The motorsport's very big here in the UK for some reason. And I'm very pleased that I was put here because I get to go work in it a lot easier than if I was living in America, because I don't want to work in NASCAR. Sorry, Americans. This is our home race, not yours. You had yours. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5. And it's lights out here. Mitch gets away pretty well. Manages to pull away from Lazy quite crucially into the first corner. It's very high speed. There's a few cars running right there. Mitch, Lazy, Hamby, Burmeister just getting ahead of Awechi there through into turn 3, I think. Sign, Snoopy, followed by AJ, Nambred, Dino, Samu, losing but gaining back the position, already on track. To take some points. But speaking of taking out, I think Nambred just was, very unfortunately. And AJ also getting caught up in that. So a Haas and a Mercedes down into out of points territory with one Mercedes still remaining in that point territory, chasing down Mitch GK into Cop's corner. It's flat out now, no more rain. Let's get a quick look at those tyres. It's softs for Awechi, Sign, and B Process. Hards for Snoopy, Gunslinger, and mediums for the rest of the grid. Hope you all got a good look at that, because it's all gone now. Snoopy's fallen all the way down to P10, and Samu has managed to get up into the points territory, and Awechi is on to P3. For lap 1 of 26. Don't get too excited, folks, because I have a bit of a tendency. We're getting a bit too excited over these early positional gains, because sometimes they don't last. But Samu up another position, I think, or maybe defending a position there. But has compromised process for maybe an overtake on Smith, for Smidge to overtake. But no, hasn't happened yet, and Mitch has led a lap around Silverstone. And here goes Lazy down the inside. Mitch has the inside line for this corner though, but I think Lazy just has a bit more momentum. Mitch is going to push him out wide, and he manages to keep it, but down the straight, Lazy just right on the rear end of Mitch's gearbox. Awechi not lurking too far behind from this fight, but doesn't get it done down the straight, trying to conserve the battery. Lazy getting compromised. Awechi manages to slide through. Compromised even more. Hamby manages to slide on through. Little bit of defensive work needs to be done here by Lazy. Lazy just manages, I think, just to get it back just before Cop's corner. But Awechi and Mitch, P1 and 2. Wow. And I think someone mentioned Awechi looking for a move down into Cops. Not Cops, into Maggots and Beckett's. I can't speak. I'm in shock. Awechi for the lead. Gets it done down the straight. He's on the soft compound, yes. Which we do need to consider that those tyres are going to die out. But if you could go soft medium on this track, that could be huge for Awechi. And if you can start pulling the gap now, that could be huge. A soft medium strategy, I think, would be exactly what Awechi is hoping for here. And a good soft medium. I don't mean soft medium, like, make the softs are, like, slow by lap 5, and you have to stick with them. I mean, if they're fast, and the tires are within their operating window and you could go from operating window of softs to operating window of mediums, that'd be huge, I think, for Awechi. But Mitch with the send, Lazy with the send, doesn't get it quite done. Compromises Mitch a bit though for Awechi to get back on round. And here comes Hamby for this fight on the lead. I need to look back at some of these other fights, but this is just all too interesting at the minute. At the front, it's a big debacle on these opening laps. No one's letting no one by. Through Maggots and Beckett's, they're all on each other's gearboxes. They can all smell the podium positions. They can all smell Awechi in P1, and they want a P. So Mitch going down, must be using a lot of that battery. The DRS probably helping now that it's lap 3, round the outside. Gets the move done, compromises Awechi a bit, allows Lazy to slide on down the inside just a bit. Is it going to avail? No, because ultimately, no, Lazy's going to go try dive down the inside again. The Cougars fit down there, they do, just about side by side down the straight. And it's going to be Lazy, I think, just out in front there of Awechi. This is some good racing here, lads. Between these top 3, and I assume nearly top 5 here. Top 6, even. Samu sitting P7. Really, really good performance so far. Just gonna pay homage. Pooh the rookie there, Awechi. Down into P3. I think I might have just missed that. Have those shots already fallen off? Or was it just a small mistake? Let's hope the latter, so we can continue with some good racing. Ahead of us, Dino here in the back of Burmeister, still keeping the top 4 in view. This is some amazing racing if you guys have just joined. League of MVP, Season 8, penultimate round, round 11 of 12, round Britain, lap 4. We've already had some stunning overtakes performed by the top 6 alone. I haven't even had the chance to look back at the rest of the grid yet. But here we go, Mitch losing it to Lazy, losing it to Oechi, under the braking zone, or just before the braking zone even, I think. Mitch then is going to go on around the corner, like every car should be doing. At what point does this become one big DRS train? I mean, I don't think it will be anytime soon. Let's go say hi to Roy. Hey, Roy. This might be on track for not the quickest lapping, but for a quick lapping. Snoopy and Roy here. As all the grids sort of fudged up the difference between Team Red and Roy. The fact that Team Red's only a little bit off. Then that was a Haas of AJ again. Getting really unlucky. Causing some yellow flags. No safety car or VSCs as of yet, however. So we're going to continue on racing. I'm just going to move my cable around a bit to fix some audio stuff in case that has already been going off. Lap 5 of 26. If you're on the medium tires, you want to pit around, I would assume. If you're on medium hard, around lap 10 to 12. If you're on the softs, but you want to go into the mediums, I'd say about the same. So maybe the mediums might be able to push a bit longer. It might be that they see Oechi doing medium soft, or soft medium, and Lazy then decides, hold on, I think that if he can pull out a soft medium, I can pull out a medium soft here. Which isn't what, I assume isn't what Lazy wants to hear. I think there's been another incident with Sign, as he's had to now dive into the pit lane. But yes, no, the front battle has died down a bit. They're becoming a bit more conservative and aware that their fighting is giving out some positions. Hamby getting past Mitch. Mitch still down the inside though with a leg in the door. Is going to say thank you very much. With the switchback, is he going to hold it off down the straight? It's still side by side though. But I think Mitch done for the non-existent braking zone of Cop's corner. Hamby with a bit of overspeed there. Is he going to try anything from Maggots and Beckett's? No, he's going to play it safe, which is definitely, I think, the right call there. So, where do we stand currently in terms of the battles happening across the constructors and the drivers? So, in terms of drivers, the only real main fight I'm really paying attention to, sorry everyone else, mainly because the point margins are all pretty close, is Lazy, AJ, and Hamby. AJ is currently outside the points, so that will not be helping. Lazy will be staying on top, and Hamby will be probably overtaking AJ, claiming second. In terms of constructors, though, this is where we see it get a lot more interesting, with the only Haas car being outside the points. Mercedes could close up. However, no, they have gotten Narnbread back into the points margin, which is very, very good to see. The other car running quite high. Hamby and Mitch there fighting on your screens. In terms of Williams, they have got one car up in a high podium position, but it's not going to be enough for them to hold on. Well, it might be enough for them to hold on to P3, but not really gain much more in the championship. Red Bull, it will be looking to hold on, although they are pretty solid as well, with a chance of catching Williams if they both score really well here. But I don't think that is really on their cards. I think they're probably going to have to settle with P4. Williams will also have to settle for P3. Ferrari and AlphaTauri, on the other hand, from 5 to 10, it's a lot more interesting. Ferrari AlphaTauri fighting. At the minute, AlphaTauri is going to massively outscore Ferrari, and they will take over in the constructors. That fight will go down to the final race. In terms of McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, and Alfa Romeo, McLaren has no cars in the points. Aston Martin has Mitch currently running P4 and Cami P9. Alpine has one car running P12, and Alfa Romeo has one car running P2. So it's going to be interesting. I think Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin currently leading the charge in that battle. Aston Martin, McLaren being on top of that at the minute, but I don't think they will be on track of holding that for much longer. If this rate of work keeps up, there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I believe that might just be a slow car, and it seems to have been a dropping position for Roy. I believe he might have been caught up in an accident there while I was busy staring at stats and figures. But Lazy, in the time, my stats and figures, Lazy's thing about the lead, Awechi's hanging on to P2 pretty decently. Hamby's in P3, 1 second out. Mitch from pole to P4, not too bad. Could be better. But for Aston Martin, they're really just trying to play with some very close point margins with the rest of the grid. So, with the rest of the lower grid. So, points are points for them. Burmeister, P5, Dino and Smidge, 6 and 7. The grid started to space out a bit more. Samu, P8 on a performance with a time penalty, though. It's not unusual to see a rookie with a time penalty on their first race. So, it's okay, Samu. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. You'll get there. Cammy on the behind of Samu, though, P9, Nine-Bred P10, fighting an Aston Martin here in this little bit of a train. We'll keep an eye on this as a wedge. He actually does take back first off Lazy. Did not catch that overtake, sadly. If that fighting continues, it has. It's closed down the gap from first to fourth. If that fight continues further, oh, Cammy going wide there. But as I was saying, if that fight continues, they'll bring in the rest of the grid as well. Possibly all the way down to P10 or P9, where we see Nambred now. Actually, no, it won't. It's still quite far out. I digress. Nambred then, after overtaking Cammy from going wide, will be looking to get past Samu, who is doing a mighty fine job at the minute. Lazy, his teammate, does reclaim first for Mercedes down into the braking zone of this corner that we're just about to see. The other Mercedes make a move through of Nambra. There we go, beautiful. Mercedes in sync today, working in the hive mind. As Samu, I think, has gone into the pit lane. Yes, Samu is already stopping for a change of tyres. Is that for some wing changes as well? Let me get the lap data up. That is for a strategic change. That is for a tyre strategy. Quite an early stop for mediums. Onto the hard compound. It will last for 16 laps, but is it where you? I did say about 10 to 12, didn't I? So I don't know. Now that I'm seeing it, it's definitely an early pit start. Whether or not it'll pee out, I hope you're quicker on those hard compound. Because the wedge is still going strong on his softs. Imagine to cling on to P2 at the minute and doing a mighty fine job at doing so. And Owechi into the pits. I did expect this, however. Expected the soft runner to come in just a bit before the medium runner. And if the mediums have gone this long, and they'll go for a bit longer, the real question is Owechi going to go onto a hard compound or a medium compound? It's a medium compound. Good man. I think we might have a race on our hands. We've seen people like Burmeister do the soft medium or the medium soft. Who knows? Maybe Burmeister is going to go onto the softs and surprise us all. But who knows? Burmeister's usually the one to look out for any non-apparent tyre strategies. So we'll keep our eyes on to him in terms of where that leads. So currently your provisional runnings: Hamby, Lazy, Hamby, Mitch, Burr, Dino, Nanbread, Cammy, AJ, Gunslinger, and Owechi just coming out of the pits onto those medium compounds. I think, though, that soft tyre run for Owechi was greatly helped by the fact that there hasn't been a safety car. A safety car from this point forward would help Owechi preserve the life of those tyres, make sure there's still life in them to battle. So I think Owechi is mathematically in one of the better positions right now. Dino into pit for the AlphaTauri. God, I couldn't remember what the car was for a second. Dropping P8. Is he going to drop any further? Yes, he is, because his pit lane's right at the end of the thing. Number 69. I never really realised drivers' numbers. But Owechi, I think, has just gotten that position back on Dino, showing that the early stop has worked. And that pit lane's always an optical illusion to me, because it looks like there's so much more. It looks like the car in the pit lane can just come out a lot quicker, but no, because pit limiters and stuff. Makes it really weird how far those pit limiters go. I don't understand. I know it's like because of where the pit lane is and stuff, at which point move the pit lane. But I digress. Lazy has managed to pull a decent gap from Hamby and Mitch. Fighting Hamby probably won't be helping that gap too much, as that will just grow and grow and grow until pit stops come around for these medium runners. And as I say that, Hamby and Lazy into pit. Hamby and Mitch go past. Burr isn't going to pit. Cammy. Nanbread is double stacked for Mercedes. Cammy in, AJ in. Slinger staying out. It's getting very interesting in terms of the stops here. So hard for Lazy, hard for Nanbread. Aston Martin Cammy will go on to hards. AJ on to hards. So it's all hard-ons for the cars just coming around now. And Owechi's up into P5. Slinger yet to stop. Burmeister also yet to stop. Mitch and Hamby yet to stop. So it's the part of the race where the pit stops occur. It's always the weirdest, because you get some really weird front runnings, and then everything sort of goes back into normality once everyone sort of has had their pit stop. Let's take a quick look at the penalties. 3 seconds for Samu and Sai. Swampy has gotten a 5-second time penalty. I could not tell you why. Probably a severe collision with probably AJ or one of those incidents early on. Owechi has gained a position on Slinger. I think that he might have had a bit of a moment. Oh no, that looks like an overtake. There. The leaders are pitting. Burmeister inherits the lead. And Owechi now probably overtake these two? Yes. Maybe. It's going to be close, I think. Oechi down the main straight. Pit lane goes on longer than you think it does, and that first corners are going to be very straight. It's going to be very tight. On the exit, he's done it. Oechi into P2. The strategy so far playing into his hands. I'm really on top of this because it's just a really interesting strategy. I'm not biased, I swear. I promise. It's kind of biased, I guess. I just like it because it's an interesting strategy. And I want to see what's going to happen here, especially with Burr. The fact that Burr hasn't pitted also tells me that there's this strategy here is probably quite strong. If he pits lap 16 or around about then, which if he's going to go for the same strategy as Oechi Seb, then he should. But everything's falling back into a sense of normality. Oechi, followed by Lazy, followed by Slinger, Andy, Mitch, Smidge, Dino, Samu. Yes, this is looking familiar. The only person sort of out of place is Slinger in P4, who is yet to stop, but he's on the hard compound. So, hard soft? No, I would... Oh, but hold on, we're going to find out. Slinger into the pit lane. We're going to find out what this strategy is. If it is hard medium, then I'd be a bit disappointed that 10 laps on medium. You can go 10 laps on soft. If you push him, and if you drive the right drive. What is it? It's mediums. Safer call. Safer call. And also, I guess the softs are risky because there's a safety car. I guess it kind of works for you in some extent, but not as well as Seb's strategy would work under a safety car. It's all very interesting, really. But yes, okay, where we're standing now, Aston Martin with some good points coming in with Mitch, Mercedes getting points. A podium position points and 2 points with non-bread. Williams scoring some points. Red Bull, excuse me, scoring some points with both drivers probably, as Burr's going to come in. Let's see how this goes. Swampy, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. This will be whether or not Oechi might be onto something, because Burr usually dictates the straight. It's soft tires. Yes, okay, I think then if Burr's done that, I think Oechi might be onto something here. But B process also into the pit lane for speeding, but things return to a sense of normality. Oechi, Lazy, Hamby, Mitch. The two AlphaTauris outscoring Ferrari. Samu, non-bread, Burr, Cami. So Aston Martin both are in the points currently. Good job, guys. Haas really struggling. Ferrari struggling this race. The other Alfa Romeo of Team Red, close to points, maybe could manifest at the end of the race with a few interventions by safety cars. What's it, who's it? I don't think they've had any lappings yet, which I guess is good, because it means the cars are still pretty close together on the track. But I digress. This race has been up there mainly because of the qualifying. The qualifying, I think that peak MVP qualifying, I think, there might have been. I don't think it was entertaining because it was chaotic per se. Like some of the races have been entertaining because there's been so many safety cars and stuff. But I think that it was entertaining for the right reasons. Like the drivers weren't, obviously the wet weather frustrates the drivers, but it was like they weren't getting there wasn't 300 safety cars being thrown at them during qualifying or whatever, or so many yellow flags or a red flag. We haven't had a red flag this season. I really want a red flag. I imagine we get it in the last race of the season. Oh my god. I must say, Lazy is catching Seb for the lead. Those mediums have to be preserved in a very specific way for them to work well. So there's a very noisy car outside. Oh my god, yeah, Wedgie's losing a lot of pace to Lazy now. Like a lot of pace. No way those how long has he been on those mediums for? 6 laps. The mediums don't go out in 6 laps, do they? I mean, they might be ingraining, but it shouldn't be, like, permanent. Samu gets some 3-second time penalty warnings. Once again, pretty normal, and Lazy does take the lead off of Wedgie. It's a really rapid time gain there from Lazy. That pace just coming out of nowhere. The AlphaTauri is swapping positions. Strategical or not, I don't think it's very strategical, because I have a feeling they're fighting out based on how much Smidge is looking left and right and left and right. I will leave the front to be doing front things. AJ has gotten past Cammy for P10. To think AJ and Haas really came out swinging at the start of this season, and now AJ is fighting for points. I mean, for Haas, it's always been a luck thing. They get lucky, they get unlucky. Mercedes had it early on as well. But yeah, you can't really blame the drivers too much for what they do. I mean, obviously it would help if Haas had a bigger, more presence of both cars racing at each race weekend, so that they could score some points for the constructors and for themselves, so they could actually compete. Because Lazy last week pulled away from AJ because AJ just didn't compete. Which I guess you gotta take some losses. Like if you're out to go see the women, you gotta like say, look, okay, I gotta go. You know, what I'm trying to say. Real life is more important than racing car life. Balance is a process, not a destination. So you can't blame them, and especially if you can't like get too competitive over it. And at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun. Although I like very politely bully them at times. It is what it is. Sign has sped in the pit lane, which is very unfortunate. So that will be a 5-second penalty added to the finishing time, I would imagine, because here having a little bit of a spa. Although we're not at Spa, which is where I usually use that pun, but oh, Mitch has gone out wide there through cops. No, probably a track limits warning. I'm not going to go bother and check, but receiving a warning, most likely. Lap to 19 of 26, 6 laps to go shortly. So I wouldn't worry too much. Sorry, someone's sending me FNAF memes in Discord. But yes, this has been quite the race, especially quite the qualifying. I'm gonna have to tell Roy that we need an award show this year. I need to tell Roy that we need an award show this year. And we need to decide between us, like, best qualifying session, best performing driver, this and that. I know some leagues have done it before, and I've hosted them, because the league that did these sorts of things, I thought it's very cool. They got, like, the community together, those who raced, those who didn't race. just got everyone together in like a Discord stage and did a little award show. And I thought it was really nice. I mean, also the fact that I got to like host it, you know, I felt like it was nice as well. Sign the ties in the pit lane. I was about to say, no crashes yet. Would probably help out Owechi here. But Owechi is gaining with the DRS on Lazy. The hard tires showing their worth now. But oh, that was close. And speaking of close, here's another close battle here for Mitch and Hamby. You got a big dog. You got a big dog being pursued by your little dog. Not to say that they're irrelevant. They're clearly not. They're doing an amazing job. But yes, no, they're doing really well. Anyway, here we go. I just had to tell my friends respectfully, please stop sending me FNAF memes. I know the FNAF movie came out recently, but holy. Owechi has gained a fair bit on Lazy. If only I could see the tire wear. Oh wait, I can, but I just don't have my laptop on me to see that, sadly. But Owechi gaining down the straight with the DRS aid. Gets it done. I didn't think that was as close as it was. Back into the lead for Owechi. Third place was quite far out, but could easily be brought back into this if these two keep the fighting up. 22 laps have happened. This is the 21 laps have happened. There is 5 left. I can do maths. Don't test me. I took A-level maths. I still can't do my times tables. The rest of the grid's pretty split up. The only real threat I'm seeing, Dino on Smidge at the minute. Non-Bread has left the session. Oh no. This could be the downfall. Here we go, the Wi-Fi's back. The dodgy Wi-Fi's back. It strikes again. Non-Bread is going to topple down the order. If I had to take a guess. I hate to watch, but let's. Because the AI level is like 30. Most of the drivers race about like a 50 to 60 or something. It's just a ghosted car. So, there you go. Look, there goes Smidge. Here comes Dino. Unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate. Everyone salute the poor man. I don't know what song to sing, but rest in peace, Non-Bread. Well, until it wasn't. But Owechi still leads on lap 23. Not long. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. He's into the pit lane for some reason. He won't be too happy about this. His AI into the pit lane. For mediums, not even for soft tires. This is insulting. Not even for soft compound tires. And he's just joined. Oh, bless his soul. Oh. Wi-Fi issues and AI decisions are the worst thing that ever happens in F1. And the worst part is when you come back to see that you've pitted for medium tires. There is a chance you can salvage this. Not really. I'm sorry, Non-Bread. And we've lost another car of Snoopy to the pit lane. I think Non-Bread has just quit. I think he's just permanently quit. I think he's seen what happened. So I don't want to retire. I'm just gonna quit. But that is very unfortunate. Two AlphaTauris closer than ever. They're always very close, these two, on the track, whether they're running 3rd and 4th, or if they're running 6th and 7th, or even 15th and 14th, or 14th and 15th even, to keep up with my pattern. Are they both number 69? No, you're number 8. 9-Brit's back. He has not rage quit. Not yet, at least. God blessed be his heart. Lazy here, gaining on Oechi on the final laps of this race. This is going to go to the wire. It could be a drag race to the line. Slumpy serving his 5-second time penalty that he had acquired. I think he acquired a 5-second time penalty. I think he did. Having to serve, that will probably go for a soft lap, fastest lap attempt. But here we go, Beckett onto the hanger straight, DRS enabled for Lazy down, found the main straight, tremendous speed, he's going to get it easily done. Actually now needs to start thinking about his next moves carefully. He overtakes on the next lap. Lazy could get him on the last lap. Does he wait a lap and try and make a move on the last lap and propose the risk of losing him? We're not having enough time to gain, or is it? It's all a way up and Khan, who's got more battery, and oh my God, Lazy has pulled away massively from Oechi there, nearly already out of DRS range. Oechi really going to have to put pedal to metal now. Those tires should last. I say should last, if they've not already gone, that is. But I think Oechi might, I don't know if he's intentionally doing it, but it looks like he'll be attacking on the next lap, is what I would say. Samu, make Peru great again. This is Samu from Peru, that is a fact I didn't know, but he's on track for points in his first race. Actually, no, he has a 6-second time penalty, doesn't he? It is a 9-second time penalty. He was on track for points in his first race. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, let's ignore penalties for like one time. He technically scored points, and to that I give him props. Obviously, the track limits was a bit about the place, but if it weren't for track limits, he's done an amazing job, and to that I commend him. I don't think I'll give him driver of the day. Another retirement in the pit lane. Both Ferraris out of the session, leaving AlphaTauri to the points. I don't know. I don't think Ferrari are going to recover from this one. But it's now lap 26 of 26. Oechi has a chance to get a move done here, maybe, if he puts his foot down. But going wide like that won't be helping him. Hamby fighting off Mitch behind. I think in terms of how the podium finishes, it could be quite up in the air. Mitch could take a P3 off Hamby, Oechi. I mean, maybe could take a P1 off Lazy, but I don't think it's likely now, and I think he sealed the deal. I think Lazy, that's his to relish in. Oechi, though, I think first podium of the season, long time coming. But he'll be, I think he'll be happy about that one, nonetheless. A very, very bold strategy. Maybe just a lap too late. Or too early, even. There, I think the tyres have just hit dust. But let's see if anything changes behind here. I'll have to cut the Lazy for the finishing line shot. I'll have to do that now. Time to win the British Grand Prix. Congratulations! Oechi takes P2, Hamby P3, Mitch P4, stays as it was going into the lap. Burmeister is going to come home P5 for Red Bull, amazing drive. Smidge P6, Dino P7, AJ from quite an unlucky start, points P8. He'll take it, but he won't be too proud of that one, I don't think. Cami P9, and Samu finishes P10, but won't finish P10. Will probably get dropped down to P11, P12 even, unfortunately. Nanbread P13, only 1 point scoring Mercedes there. Roy, being a sneaky boy, takes P14, not worried about Swampy with his penalties. And Swampy is going to take P15. Congratulations to everyone. Driver of the day. I mean, if I was to be nice, I would give it to the rookie. But let me look at the standings. Let me look at them. I mean, if I could, I would give it to everyone in that initial top 4, because that was some amazing fighting going on there. But we'll have to look at that in a minute. Lazy, Seb, and Hamby all remain up to the top step. One, I think, Irishman, one Englishman, and one flag I'm not really too familiar with, sadly. All stand up on the podium and spray the champagne. Relish in their celebration. Congratulations, lads. But let's get a quick recap in case you missed it. Lazy takes home the W from Mercedes, followed by Owechi P2. I think first podium of the season, but we'll find out. Hamby takes home P3, and Mitch, sadly, after a great race, only misses out P4. I think I'm going to give driver of the day to Mitch. I think, I don't know who I want to give it to. I feel like if I give it to Owechi, this sounds so biased. No, I don't care. Owechi gets it. Call me biased. Mitch takes home P4. Burr P5, Smidge P6, Dino P7, AJ P8, Cami P9, Team Red P10, Gunslinger P11, Samu P12, Narmbread P13, Roy P14, Swampy P15, B Process P16, Snoopy P17, and Sign P18. Let's get the lads in here. Let's hope they want to talk to me this week, because I remember last time none of them wanted to talk to me, and it was very sad. I really need to add like some of these more common podium finishers. I don't have Hamby added. There we go. Had a stroke there. Apologies, my cohort of listeners and viewers and whatever happens. Let's see who joins. Hamby's here. Hello, Hamby.
Hi.
We will just see if anyone else joins. Real quick. We'll get Lazy in here, 100%. He usually shows up for interviews.
I expect them both to be, because we still got quite a bit to the race.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know sometimes Owechi can't, because I don't think he has a microphone sometimes.
Yeah.
But let me just ping him. I think I pinged him in the wrong chat, but oh well. Here's Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, long time no see. What gives?
It was up and down, you know. There eventually.
you got back here. I don't think Owechi has a mic. I don't think, but let me just tell him well done. He doesn't have a mic. I thought he did. First of all, for both of you, and for like everyone as well, I want to say that was arguably qualifying was one of the most entertaining things I've watched. And those opening laps at the front were amazing. I don't know how you echo with that, but we'll find out. We'll start on with Hamby, since I think you finished third at the end of it. You had Mitch pressuring you at the end there. But how was your race? How was qualifying? How did you feel it went overall?
I made mistakes on my final quali lap, which included having too much fuel on board. Didn't help, and then it was just a solid race. Maybe pit a lap too late because I couldn't get back close to the front two, but other than that, it was just a solid drive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a really solid drive from a lot of drivers there. And it was really interesting to see some strategies put out. I have a question for Mark in regards to strategies, but in terms of those few opening laps in the race, how did you feel those went? Because those were pretty intense laps from what I saw. But I may be wrong.
It wasn't that bad for me because I was behind on it a lot, but it was just trying to not get damage and stay in it. Making sure if one of them accidentally takes each other out, I'm not involved in it and can avoid it.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't want to go for like a 10-pin bowling session. But yeah. Of course, Williams, in terms of the standings, you're still you're pretty solid in the standings in third. I have a feeling that you might not be able to catch Mercedes or Haas because they're just, I think, a bit too far out mathematically. So in constructors wise, you might have to settle for third. How do you feel about your team's performance over the season? Do you think you could have done better in some areas? And maybe you could have been up there challenging for those high positions going into the last race?
I could definitely have done better as a team. I've had a few bad races where I've either missed strategy up or made mistakes. And so has my teammate as well. He's had some bad races, which also doesn't help. His quali pace isn't the strongest.
I mean, obviously, it's your first year, I think, here in the league, isn't it? Or not?
Yeah.
Correct. So I mean, the fact that you're even fighting in this top area of it, coming in on your rookie year, is quite amazing. So obviously, over the break, there's obviously some time to like talk it through, work it out. Obviously, now you've had your first season on the game, you can now sort of you get a bigger understanding, better understanding, ready for next season when that comes around. So, and I can definitely tell in the second half of this season, a lot more drivers seem to be stepping up to the mantle towards the front a bit more. And in terms of your individual performance, you're running third in the constructors, fighting pretty closely with AJ, and you are going to overtake him after this race. Although I would say, optimistically, you might be able to go for Lazy, but Lazy is quite far out.
Yeah, I think I'm out of it now.
But second isn't too bad. I mean, going into the last race, if you can outscore AJ or finish within a certain margin, you could hold on to second in the championship. How does that make you feel?
Good. It's been a good season to say it's my first proper season league racing.
I think that's quite the achievement, and then especially going into next season, I think that brings a lot of like motivation, and it's like, okay, I can do second, but this year I want to do first. I think that there's I don't know how to word it, but there's motivation there.
Yeah.
And yeah, just from me, even before we go into the last race, what a season it's been from you. So congratulations on that. And of course, the last race of the season is going to be in Vegas. How do you feel about the Vegas track?
The biggest fun on it.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
Yeah, it's got quite like driving an ice ring.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of strategy work and a lot of setup work going into that race, I think. But, I wish you the best for that. And do you have anything else you would like to say to the stream?
No.
Okay, then I'll let you be. Enjoy your I forget what race it is, Mexico Grand Prix. But yes, have a good one. Congratulations, and I'll see you next week for the final.
Yeah.
Going on to Mark then. Congratulations, welcome back.
Thanks. Been a while.
Took your time.
Yeah.
But first
Wanted
of all,
to make things exciting for you,
pardon?
Wanted to make things exciting for you,
How was that race for you? Opening laps, qualifying?
Yeah, I mean, qualifying was fun. I mean, it's the wet, so I always enjoy being in the wet. It's always fun. Just I enjoyed the difficulty of it, and I think I was a bit unfortunate not to get pole. My last push lap kind of just messed up on the exit on Beckett's and messed up another corner as well. I think it was out of Luffield, but overall solid lap. And Mitch got me for pole. Well done, Tim. And I mean, Mitch had a fantastic start to the race as well. I mean, it was a absolutely fantastic battle with him at the start of the race, and Seb was in there too. So yeah, it was some great opening laps in there as well.
Can I have a question?
Yep.
Do you know how many points third position gets?
So first is 25.
Yeah.
Second is 18. What position are you looking for?
Third.
15.
142, you're 143, plus, no, 143, 3 plus 23, you're on 166, Hamby's on, I already forgot, 142, 142 plus 23, okay, you haven't mathematically, wait, have you?
I think it's only 2 points, is it? Or 1 point?
I think you've mathematically won the championship by 1 point. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. My maths is awful.
Well,
but I'll get Roy's opinion on it. Even if you haven't mathematically
1, 3, 5,
won it.
4, 5. 1, 6, 8. No, I need a couple points to secure it, I think.
Okay. Well, that's why I don't trust my maths. But even if you haven't mathematically won it, you're sitting pretty solid at the top.
Yeah.
So going from the start of the season till now, obviously for Mercedes it's been quite rough. But we'll talk about you individually first. Obviously quite solid at the top of the championship and winning the race today only extends that. AJ has, for lack of a better word, fallen off. But no, I'm sorry, AJ. But no, obviously the competition's changed quite a lot through the season, and now you're at the top. So how do you feel like everything building up to this last race is gone?
It's been quite an up and down season, but I think overall my pace has been very strong. But I think, just getting unfortunate, you go back to Austria and the guys multiple seconds ahead in first, and the safety car comes out and I'd end up, I think it was third. There's been so many instances like that where, it's either a safety car or I get an unlucky tap at lap 1 or something unlucky happened, but managed to just stick it out and make sure I was still in the fight for the championship the whole way through, and just, now I just need to finish it off in Vegas. So.
And constructors-wise, I think it's going to go pretty down to the line, although you will get a bit of a lead on Haas going into it. And if Haas only competes with one car next weekend as well, I think you're pretty in with a good chance of winning the constructors as well. So obviously, how do you feel that's gone so far before the last race of the season?
I mean, constructors has been all over the place, really. I mean, Haas been up and down. I think Mercedes as well. I mean, Williams were quite solid the whole way through, and they've been keeping the top two on edge. So it was nice to see having that third team come in and really fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall this season's been quite good, and I'm glad I could make it and commentate every race of it, because if I missed one race, I feel like it would be criminal. I wouldn't have the
Yeah.
same awe as I have now, but I think for Mercedes it's a pretty strong season. You plan on ending it in a bang with Vegas.
Yeah, we hope so.
How do you feel about it track-wise?
Don't know what to think really. I mean, it's tracks that I think a lot of drivers don't have a whole lot of experience with. And I think the experiences that they do have are positive. So, it is a very tricky track. There's a lot of, the sector one, there's a lot of blind corners, there's a lot of heavy braking zones where you can mess up and you can end up in a wall. So, I mean, definitely tough. Definitely a tough track to end on, but just have to keep it on
Go with
track,
the
I
flow.
suppose, and do our best.
Well, congratulations. Do you have anything you want to say to the stream before I let you go watch Mexico? Because of our way, we only have 5 minutes.
No, I'm good. I'm going to have to run and catch the race. So.
Okay, well, congratulations and good luck for the next race. It's been an amazing race weekend this weekend. Let's see if we can have it next weekend as well.
Thanks, appreciate
So
it.
congratulations. All right.
Thanks.
See you, man. Have a good one.
All right. See ya. Enjoy your week.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm aware that the race is going to happen very soon, so I'm going to get moving on very quickly. Thank you for all joining us. We're going to see you for the final at Vegas, Glitz and Glamour finale, going out in style. Should be good fun. If this race was anything to go off, it should be good fun as well. I think this race is up there for one of the best of the season, but we will have to find out. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'll see you next week from Viva Las Vegas. Have a good one, guys.